Attention, all views and opinions expressed in this video and channel are for educational purposes only.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back, and today I'm going to read you some of the viewer submitted emails that I asked for a few weeks ago. I've gotten, a few of them. Some of them I can't verify, but I have verified these right here. I've actually talked to these folks on the phone. They verified exactly what they told me in here. So I'm going to read you these emails. Now, what these emails are about, they are about how they built their stores. Now, remember, these are smoke shops, so some of this stuff could be used in other industries, some of it not so much. It kind of is what it is as far as that goes, but meanwhile, I wanted to read you these because I think these 5 that I've got so far, I'm still reading through some of them, but the 5 that I've got so far, I think are really, really good. And the first lady said I could tell her name, but she would rather me not tell the name of the shop. And I can tell you where it's at, though. I can tell you the city and the state, but she is asking me not to because she don't want to be spammed out. She don't want to be, having haters hit her up about it, and said she just didn't want that. She wasn't trying to be famous, but she enjoyed the content and thought maybe if I was doing it and helping others, maybe she could too. And this is her little way of doing it. Although I do encourage you, Maria, I think you've got a great story here. I think you need to be doing your own show. I really do. I think you got a great story. I think you would really inspire some of the females that are out here watching this. Let's cut the crap and let's get on this, because I think, this lady has something that probably should be talked about, and I definitely want to celebrate with her this. It said from $600 to 2 stores. My story as a smoke shop owner. Well, I had to read that, man, no matter what. She says, hola, I love it. Hola, Maria. And she says, my name is Maria Alvarez, and I run blank, 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 blank here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm writing this like a letter because when I was first dreaming about opening a shop, I would have given anything to read something real, but not the polished Instagram highlight reels, but the messy truth. Like I always tell you, this business is hard. And how the money came together, the mistakes I made, the days I thought it was over, and how I ultimately pulled myself through it. So bear with me, Chad. This is my story. First paragraph, powerful, girls and boys, powerful. She said, I was 28, working 2 jobs, waitressing nights, doing call center work during the day, barely keeping my 2 kids fed and the lights on. Every dollar was spoken for before I even got my paycheck, and praying each week I was getting one. Because, waitress job's tough, y'all. I don't know if you ever done that, but you have a slow night and you was dependent on that money, or, something, the kids needed something and you had a slow night, you may be hit. The idea for a shop started small. My cousin in Houston had a little side hustle selling rolling papers and cheap glass out of his trunk. When I visited him, I saw people lining up for it like it was gold. I asked him, why don't you just open a store? He said, well, it takes money to do that, and that's what we don't have. But the thought stuck in my head, why not me? San Antonio had plenty of corner gas stations selling wraps and vapes, but not many actual shops where people felt comfortable. I imagined a clean space with bright lights, shelves organized, and prices fair. I understand real money pricing. I get that. Somewhere people could walk in without feeling like they were doing something wrong. I remember when she said that, it reminded me of when we had the Barrett Avenue location. It's right there in the middle of the Highlands. And we would have people come in there and like they really didn't want to be seen in there, but they wanted to come in and out. They were straights, with the suit and tie on, or they'd be dressed a little different than the other Highlanders. And so they were working downtown. They were trying to get far enough out without being too far. And so we became their spot too, but they always felt like it was dirty to be in there. So I know what she means. Okay. Still dreaming is one thing. Reality was another. I had $600 in my bank account and no safety net. Well, it makes it tough. I agree. She said, as far as piecing the money together, banks, forget about it. I didn't have credit good enough to get a Walmart card, let alone a business loan. Family, my parents barely scraped by. They weren't in a position to help. So I hustled. My tax refund, this is how she got the money. I got back $3,800 back one year. That was the first time I thought, okay, this could be seed money. Her 401 cash out. I had a tiny retirement account from a job I left in my early 20s. Cashing it out after penalties gave me about $6,000. Oof, it's a lot. I don't know that I would have said that. But credit cards. Applied for 2 secured cards. Between them, I had maybe $2,000 in usable credit, which means she put $2,000 into these credit cards. Secured. Remember what that word said. Side hustle. Nights, I'd buy small boxes of rolling papers and lighters and from wholesale online and sell them to friends or coworkers at a markup. It wasn't much, but it showed me there was a demand. Although I scraped together about $14,000, that was enough for first and last month's rent on a tiny 800 square foot strip mall spot, plus a little inventory. It had to be a small amount of inventory. I mean, I'm not making fun of her because I can dig it. I totally understand. So here's the part about the build out, Chad. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and way too much paint. You don't realize how fast money evaporates until you're holding a lease. Yeah, I've said that in other videos. Yeah, I do. The landlord wanted me to paint and fix the place myself, so I spent weekends with my brother and 2 friends rolling beige paint over the cigarette-stained walls. We ripped up the nasty carpet, laid down laminate flooring from Home Depot. Every gallon of paint, every piece of flooring felt like it was eating into money that should go towards inventory. Well, I got news for you, Maria. It was. I'll be honest, I did cut corners. I bought secondhand display cases off Facebook. Well, that's what I told you to do, off Facebook Marketplace. Borrowed a cash register from a shop owner I knew and printed my store banner at a cheap sign shop. Okay, boys and girls, you know that I said you have to do things like that. So I totally get it. That's how we started. I mean, come on. We had a cash register, I think, with 10 departments in it, and you had to remember what departments to put it in. The place wasn't fancy, but it looked clean and organized. That mattered to me. I named it, and she told me. And this was my shot at a new life. Yeah, I know how that feels. I do. I know how that feels. Opening day nerves, she titles this. I opened the door in the spring of 2017 with shelves that looked half empty. I had papers, wraps, a few grinders, maybe 20 glass pipes, and a sad little hookah section. The first week, I made maybe $600 in sale, and here's the kicker, 400 of that went straight back to restock. After rent and utilities, I took home almost nothing. First time? Welcome to the game, girl. Welcome to the game. I thought, what did I just do? And here she says, the struggle nobody tells you about. Number 1, landlord dramas. The landlord didn't like I used smoke in the store name. He kept threatening that other tenants were complaining. I had to fight tooth and nail to keep my lease. Number 2, inventory mistakes. I stocked what I thought was cool instead of what people actually bought. Fancy hookahs collected dust while customers asked for disposables, cheaper glass, and kratom, which I didn't even carry yet. Number 3, customers testing boundaries. People came in asking for things I couldn't legally sell. At first, I was embarrassed to say no, but I learned fast, if you want to keep your shop, you got to follow the rules. Number 4, being a woman in this industry. Vendors talking down to me. Some men who walked into the shop didn't take me seriously. I had to get louder, tougher, and sharper. You can ask Diane over at my Dixie Highway store what's up, but I guarantee you mess with that chick, man, from Detroit, that'll be your ass. My attitude became, you don't have to like me, but you will respect my business. The turning point, she said, about 6 months in, I was drowning. Sales were inconsistent, rent was high, my credit cards were maxed. I remember sitting on the floor of my shop one night crying, thinking about closing the doors. Then I realized something. I wasn't listening to my customers, I was guessing. The next day, I pulled out a little notepad by the register with a sign, "Tell me what you want me to carry." Customers wrote down brand names, products, flavors. I took those notes very, 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 very seriously. Within a month, I had reordered my shelves. I brought in disposables, affordable grinders, and rolling trays that actually moved. Business picked up fast. Of course they did. Of course they did, because it's not what we like, it's what the customers want. If I had bought exactly what I liked, half that shit would have never been there, because I'm pretty easy to go with, man. I love the little metal SATs, the little one hitters with the end top, put them in your pocket and go on. I love those things, man. But that's not all that sells out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just tell you, okay? The hustle pays off. Once I aligned inventory with demand, things shifted drastically. Average daily sales went from 200 to 600 in 3 months. God, that's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot to you all out there selling TCA flour, but it is a lot. Word spread that I actually listened to my customers. Repeat customers became my backbone. I still wasn't balling, but I wasn't drowning anymore. By year 2, the shop was stable enough that I could pay my bills without panic. Year 3, I opened a second location closer to the college side of town. That second shop now outperforms my first one. Hey, I know how you feel. That happens to us all. Okay. She says these are your lessons that you'll need to learn. If you're thinking about opening your own shop, here's what I wish someone had told me. Well, I didn't have the YouTube open then, so couldn't help you. Sorry about that, dear. Money will never feel like enough. Amen, girl. Amen. You'll never feel fully funded. Hey, I still don't. I still don't feel like we are making the money that we should. Okay. Start lean. Used cases, cheap paint, bare shelves. Don't wait for perfect. Start with what you got. Yes. Amen. Amen. Inventory is everything. Don't stock for yourselves. Stock for your customers. Ask them, listen, and adapt quickly. Hello? Location isn't just rent price. My first store was cheap, but it was dead. My second costs more, but sits on a busier corner near a college. It's nights and days difference. Don't be afraid to pivot. If something isn't working, product, location, pricing, hey, just change it. Don't let pride sink you. Protect yourself. Keep clean records. Know the laws and never let anybody pressure you into cutting corners. One wrong product on your shelf can cost you everything. God. She says, now today, it's been 8 years since the first shaky opening. I now employ 6 people between 2 stores. My kids, who were little when I started, are old enough to help stock shelves after school. They tell me they're proud of me, which really makes me happy. And me, I'm proud too. Not because I made millions, but because I didn't give up when it felt impossible and I felt like I was drowning. If you're sitting there wondering if you can do it, I'll tell you the truth. You can. But it's going to take everything: your money, your energy, your grit. Some days will break you. But if you push through, if you learn from your mistakes, if you truly listen to the people walking through your door, you can build something that changes your life. And that's what our shop did for me. Thank you for all that you do for us and for keeping the videos going. Maria Alvarez, San Antonio, Texas. That's humbling for me that she would end it that way. That's nice. But Maria, although a biological female, has a lot more balls than maybe some of you. You have to look in the mirror and figure out if you're who I'm talking to. but Maria had a set of cojones that was monstrous. And that's what it takes. That is what it takes. And I am proud to have Maria as a viewer on here, and I appreciate the kind words. But Maria, you did that all yourself, honey. I did not hold your hand. I appreciate all that, but I know that you have worked your ass off, and I'm proud of you. And you're the kind of woman my daughter should be looking up to. And all you guys and girls out here, maybe you should take a page out of her book and check that out for yourself. All right, I've got more emails, and I will be putting them out, and I hope you appreciate these as much as I did. Maria, oh, God, I love your story, girl. Love it. Love it. So if you ever run across her down in San Antonio, tell her Chad said hi, and you saw the video from me. And Maria, if I see you at the show, please stop and see me. I will be bringing you something just because I read your email. If I see you at the show, I'm going to bring it no matter what, even if I don't give it to you. If you're there, I'll give it to you. Come up and find me. I promise you. I always tell you when I'm coming. I'll always be there. All right, everybody, that's what I got for the day. I hope you can appreciate that. I hope there's some lessons in there that maybe you can grab out of there and run with. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.